Well, welcome to ColliTalks, Transformational Conversations. And as I always say, we're going to go deep and it's going to be good because today we begin a powerful new series, one that goes beyond symptoms, surface talk, and societal shame, and dives into the sacred, systemic, and deeply human experience of menopause. Yes, you heard it right. Sacred. And I am honored, truly honored, to be joined by a woman who has spent nearly 3 decades walking women home to themselves. Irmgard Rosa Maria Rauscher is a pioneer in the field of systemic constellation work, having studied directly with Bert Hellinger for 28 years. She's been holding transformative spaces for individuals and groups, seeking healing, integration, and connection to ancestral truth. But Irmgard's work doesn't stop at the family system. She is the creator of Yoni Constellations, a profound approach that explores our relationships to femininity, love, intimacy, sexuality, and the spiritual lineage of the feminine through the lens of constellation work. This is soul work, body work, lineage work. Her approach embraces the inner truth of each woman, held within personal, familial, and cultural narratives, and brings that truth forward into healing, embodiment, and liberation. In 2006, Irmgard published a book on this, which is the Fiery Red Transformation, one of the few texts that speaks to menopause as a rite of passage, not a medical condition, as so many people believe it is. Irmgard offers workshops across Germany, Austria, Italy, and Romania, and serves clients worldwide from her home in Bavaria. This is possible all online, and I can attest to this. So today we talk about the menopausal journey, not as an ending, but as a portal to power, to clarity, to ancestral wisdom, to embodiment, to a woman's truest self. If you've ever felt lost, silenced, or misunderstood in the face of your changing body, this conversation is your invitation to come back to yourself. Let's begin by welcoming Irmgard. Welcome.
Dear Colli, how wonderful you set this up, and how wonderful you do this important topic on your podcast. And this is it is also honor for me to be here and to talk with you. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I mean, you are the go-to lady goddess as far as I am concerned, and I am honored to have you. And our audience will totally benefit from this podcast. And it's a series. So they not only have today, to listen, but they have something to look forward to because it's such a mysterious, but it doesn't have to be, subject. And I know through your guidance and your wisdom and experience and love and just of the sacred feminine that we're all going to gain so much. So thank you. So let's begin. Yeah, I was going to start with, a broad view. And, how do you define the different phases of a woman's journey through perimenopause and menopause and on all those levels, right? The physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So how do you define?
Yeah, on a physical level, the menopause is divided into 3 phases.
Okay.
The perimenopause is the time before the menopause, when menstruation becomes less regular and the first symptoms may appear. For some women, the perimenopause starts early in their 30s, and for others, maybe 10 or 12 years later.
Okay.
And everything is normal. And menopause is the time when menstruation stops for at least a year.
Okay.
And postmenopause is the phase after the menopause. So we have some classical physical symptoms like sleep disorders, like fast heartbeat or stumbling, or hot flushes, sweating, dizziness, weight increase,
Mm,
skin, and so on. And the emotional level
mhm.
is that is marked by really a merry-go-round of emotions similar to those we know from puberty.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes. The only difference is that there is no anticipation of adulthood and freedom, but the fear of getting older, of losing attraction, of physical problems, of illness, and finally of death.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes, this is the first time in life in the middle age when you face this the first time, yeah.
Mm,
And mood swings and even depression can arise.
right.
A- Yeah, and also empty nest syndrome,
Oh,
or the fact that the parents are getting old, are ill, possibly needs care, and also die often, very often also occurs during exactly this time.
amazing. Really. It is really amazing what a woman's journey, you know, what we go through, right?
Yes, yes. And on a spiritual level, many women now realize for the first time, as I said before, that they are in midlife.
Mm,
They have to say goodbye to their youth and fertility, and this often provokes lots of anxiety and concerns.
yes, I can imagine and I can attest. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we do go through a lot for sure. And there's so much misleading information out there. That's why I'm so grateful to you to spend the time you're going to share information that is truth. And, so many women searching for that continued fountain of youth, right?
Mhm.
Especially in the societal norm that we live in now. And it's not even norm, but it's, the constant comparing and the constant, doctor Googling for answers to everything, and also to the fear of becoming older and not being as perceived attractive, et cetera, et cetera. And then, then doing all these crazy things that I consider crazy. And maybe it's not a judgment, but it's just, I've been through it. And so I can look back now and go, yeah,
Mhm.
that was crazy. It was
But
crazy to, the whole thing is about this for me with regards to what we are speaking about today is that we cannot compete with our younger self.
no.
I mean, we can enhance and keep well and keep, do the best we can with as we go along. But for me at my age now, 69, to try to compete with my 20-year-old, it's not going to work.
No, no, not at
So, you know, this is why I'm really grateful that you're here. So we can, erase
I
erase some of this stuff from people's minds.
yes, I went 70 in February this year.
Oh, wow. Happy
I did
birthday.
I did you and I want to get it. I did not want to be 70
Mhm.
un until I decided I would like to have a big party and, invite all family and friends, yeah,
Right?
and that I want to see. And then suddenly the birthday came up and I was 70, and then I felt this wonderful power of this number.
Oh,
S
wow.
Yes, And now I say I'm sweet 70.
Oh, I love it. Can I borrow it because I turned 70 in July?
And this is really a fact, and it surprised myself too.
Amazing. Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that I love that, sweet 70.
Mhm.
Oh, what a gift. What a gift, right? And now you share that wonderful sweet 70 with us.
Yes, it's really a gift. And I look at it like this. It is really a gift, to
Mhm,
be this age and be healthy and work and be in connection with so many women.
mhm.
This is such a joy. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I was gonna ask you, what are some of the most common body changes that women experience during these transitions that are I mean, sometimes to me, a lot of them are overlooked or misunderstood by both medical systems and society. So, what are the most common body changes?
The most common body changes are these classical symptoms like hot flushes and sleep disorders, power dip, lack of desire, of course. This is also a fact. High
Mhm,
blood pressure, and so on.
mhm.
Is also often is dizziness and heart problems. And
Oh,
but I find this very, very interesting what it is on the spiritual level,
mhm.
because often becomes visible that familiar relationships no longer work.
Oh, explain.
Yes, we are confronted with ourselves, with
Okay.
our roots, with our inner core, with the meaning of life itself. And sometimes the old relationships, they don't fit anymore.
Mm,
And this is really interesting.
very.
Yeah.
It
And
totally makes sense
yeah,
when
and
you
the yes, and the
yeah,
doctors usually only see the physical symptoms
right.
and try to treat them with hormones and medication. And they also do not know that in this time, old patterns and unresolved traumas from the family of origin, the present system or personal trauma can come to surface.
Wow. Oh
Yes.
my good goosebumps, that's like God bumps all over my body. Can you go into that a bit more for our audience, Irmgard?
Yes. The,
Thank you.
men- the menopause is a farewell to physical fertility, and this farewell creates a vacuum because the old is leaving
Mhm.
and new has not yet arrived.
Okay.
And it is often not realized that this process needs awareness, understanding, and a loving support.
Mhm.
On, on television, in women's magazines, the menopause is a topic everywhere,
Yes, yes, it is.
but only on the level of what you can do about the symptoms so that you can continue to function as you always have.
Oh, wow. That is like such a bomb truth truth bomb. Because, yes, just to keep going as always, which is impossible.
This is not it's overwhelming, of course, but nothing is like it is always was. And we should pay attention to that because this is really important. It is an unique transition in a woman's life that deserves honor and respect.
Mm,
Also, our honor and respect.
right. Yes. And
We
I
we
mhm.
cannot wait for others to have that. We are self. We have to have self for us honor and respect.
And that's interesting, that you bring that up because I'm thinking back to what you mentioned about, you know, trauma from, our ancestors, women in our line, that may be brought to surface at that time. And I mean, unless somebody does a session with you, then how are they going to know that? you know, you know what I mean? It could be so discombobulating to the psyche, the mind, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, that they don't know where it's coming from.
It's true. Yeah. And
Overload.
yes, and women are now entering new territory. And in unknown territory, it's important to be aware of the changes, to adapt and to act wisely and prudently so as not to harm yourself.
Mm.
And it needs knowledge about it. Yeah. So I think also in America or in Canada, there are a lot of books about menopause.
Yes, there are a lot
And
of books.
you have, yeah, and you have to find your book.
Right.
And there you can read maybe something about yourself, about how you feel, about what's the time about, and what are the changes about, and not only on this physical level. This is really the overload. So everybody knows that.
Right, exactly, right, and that's the beginning of the seeking of a quick fix.
But
Yeah.
unresolved, yes, but unresolved trauma,
Mhm.
which appears, yeah, or unresolved patterns, old patterns, it can feel like having the rug pulled out from under the feet. Yeah.
Right?
And that makes anxiety and panic attacks and depression, and even suicidal thoughts can appear.
Mhm, mhm. I understand that very well because I have spoken to a few women recently, and, they just are distraught that this is what's happening to them. And when I mentioned that we were going to be doing this, it was like, "Oh, thank you, somebody, getting to all aspects of this rather than just run to the doctor and get hormone replacement," right? Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So emotionally then and, psychologically, what shifts do you see occurring for women in this phase of life, especially when older patterns or these unresolved wounds begin surfacing?
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is the symptoms like emptiness
Mhm.
and and discouragement can be seen as well
Mhm.
as relationships with parents, partners, children's, friends, work colleagues, and so on. And also sudden breakups are also possible because, like I said before, the old patterns, the
Mhm.
old behaviors, they are gone. That this is the past, and the new one is not is not here.
That is fascinating because really I think of it in terms of, like music. Everything happens in the pause, right? So it's like the one beat to the next beat or the one note to the next note, and then there's this pause, and it's very sacred time. But I guess what happens is that to fill the void, that's when people start to, or women start to panic and Dr. Google and do anything and everything they can rather than to wait. Is that perhaps correct?
Consciousness is really necessary now, and awareness, and to look and to have the patience, not to react too fast.
Mhm.
Because reaction is always, it is always in a fast way, and that needs, like, what is the word? It is, uh yeah, it's patient, and it's Achtsamkeit in German.
Mhm.
Just look at a deeper, Um, mhm. It is always this thing is not function when you need it.
Right. It's okay. No, I understand. It is it is that, filling that void too quickly by
Yeah.
overreacting, right?
Yes.
Rather than
Yeah.
honoring the transition between and not filling that void with things that aren't going to fill it.
Yes. And to have the mindfulness, this is the word,
Mhm.
the mindfulness and the patience to just to be with it and go with it and let yourself also be in this unknown territory. Yeah.
Right. And I think, you know, sometimes talking to other women might definitely assist with that. However, everyone's journey is different, right?
Yes.
S-
Talking to a girlfriend or to other women is always very helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely, rather than isolating.
Yes. Yes, it
Mhm,
is.
mhm. I'm imagining, and sexually, how can this phase bring both challenges and deeper awakenings?
Hmm. Sexually also goes through fundamental changes.
Okay.
Yoni is no longer as moist, and penetration can become painful.
Okay.
The clitoris and the whole vulva becomes more sensitive. And for this case, touches that used to be wonderful become suddenly unpleasant. Or positions that used to be hot or a quickie no longer work so well.
Okay.
And all of this upsets and confuses the couple, of course.
Oh, of course. Yes, definitely.
Yes, and the challenge is to be patient and confident to find out what do you like and prefer and what are your needs and favorites. It is very important for women to know their yoni, also anatomical,
Mhm,
dis-
mhm.
to discover what turns you on and then talk to your partner about it and guide him. This is very important.
Well, I would think that it would be very challenging for a man to know
Mhm.
without a woman explaining.
Yes.
I mean,
Of
they're not mind readers and they don't have the same body as us. So, you know, they have they don't
all of
know.
yeah.
Yeah. And and I'm thinking in terms too, Irmgard, of, you know, especially if I'm just thinking out loud here, but this is what this is all about. If a woman during this phase is not with a partner where they have a deep, intimate relationship already, at least to the point of where they can communicate, and she's going from maybe person to person, and that's not with judgment, that's just the way the world works. It would be probably challenging when you're what they call now friends with benefits, and you're moving around from person to person. There's no possible way you can explain that to somebody on a one night, so
And the danger is that you harm yourself.
yeah,
That's really the danger. Yeah. This is
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's almost to me, speaking from myself personally, to me, it would be abusing myself.
Mhm.
But that's just me. That's just me. So what do women need to know about reclaiming their sensuality, even if they feel disconnected or depleted? What do they need to know? What
They
can
need
they do?
they need to know that the body is changing, yeah, and also the preparations are also changing. So it is not something who is just linear and goes on and on and on. They have to learn about themselves in this time. really, and to learn about their bodies and to learn about their psyche and their soul. That's really important. Yeah.
Mm.
But also, on the same time, it's the worst thing women can do now is to bite their teeth and put up with it.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Because the sexuality will turn into frustration for both of them, and especially for the woman. And some couples and some women then do not longer have sex at all.
Okay. Well, then that leaves their partner in a very precarious position to perhaps do
Yeah.
something, go elsewhere, right?
And that's a great pity for all of them, because that happens very often. The sexual creative energy let us women glow and life becomes more colorful, gaining vitality, joy, and deepness, and it is a fountain of youth for both. Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Beautiful.
Yes.
Very beautiful. I mean, that is it's a sacred sensuality, really.
Mm. Yeah. And lust and sensuality need space and time now. Af-
Mhm.
After a full day of work or watching after watching TV, no one has energy or desire to make love. No
Right.
one. Pleasure and sensuality are kept alive when sexuality is appreciated
Okay.
as something sacred and not just quickly at every opportunity as in the past.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because the hormones are different now. The hormones we want, yeah, we want to hug, we want to embrace, we want to kiss more.
Mhm. Yes. Yes, definitely.
Yes. And in concrete terms, this could mean planning a couple's evening once or twice a week. This is my suggestion and my recommending. On this evening, both meet and together they organize this meeting. It may begin with a meal together, a drink, sexy clothes, a warm room, candlelight, flowers,
Mm.
music, whatever is desired. And both partners celebrate their physical love as a festival, a ceremony, or, of course, a wild party for two.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely can do it all, but not at the same night or the same night. But just, keep keep the not even spontaneity because it's planned spontaneity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the spontaneity, they have room and space and time. And this is good because for both for men and women, they know this is our evening tonight
Mhm.
and we have time for each other. And maybe it has not come to sex, but it is also nice to get a massage
Exactly.
and be in contact with my partner and tell him about myself, about my day. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Being present.
Oh, yes. And that creates a wonderful intimacy the couple needs.
How many couples do you think actually do that?
Colli, I have no idea, but I hope many.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but you know what I mean? It's like, I do too. Because
Go
really,
on. Yeah.
people have gone, couples have gone through different phases and why, let it drop now at this phase, right? It can continue. And that's what you're sharing is so beautiful because it can continue, it can deepen, and it can become more intimate and passionate and fulfilling.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's a symphony of timeline, the waves of the different waves of the ocean come and go up and down, softer, harder, all that kind of stuff. And it's like that. So it's the rhythm of a couple staying together and appreciating and the bond getting so much deeper. I mean, it's beautiful when I sense into it in my own body, it to me it would be fulfillment, right? Total fulfillment. So, I mean, I'm single right now and I, have not been with a partner for 5 years and that's okay because I've been doing a lot of deep work within myself for that. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have a partner, but when I do, it's going to be a lot different than would have been 5 years ago. So, yeah, and through this understanding and this awakening through conversation with yourself and bringing this to our audience, to other women, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It really is. And so I'm thinking in terms of so many women experience a kind of spiritual initiation during menopause, a calling inward. And what is the deeper meaning of this phase for our soul, Irmgard?
The deeper meaning,
Mm-hmm.
the menopause invites you to welcome it as an opportunity to look at yourself, at your deeper secrets and your own being. And by risking to engage with these deeper rhythms and truth, you will have access to all the resources that are available to you all the times.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are at home within yourself,
Mm-hmm.
everything gains deeper meaning. Your trust in yourself returns, your creativity blossom, you begin to shine from within, and all the goddess asks of you is to wear her sacred cape.
Mm.
Love and accept yourself and to recognize who you really are. In fact, her divine daughter.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would think, I don't know if this is true, but I would think that for many women, it would be a time when they ran from themselves
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're scared, right? I mean,
The, the women, they leave their selves.
mm,
This is for no one good.
no,
Not for the woman, not for the partner, not for the children, not for the daughters, for no one.
right. And I'm thinking in terms of and feeling into my own life with regards to when a woman doesn't really have an understanding, let alone a role model, and is afraid, to really reach out and talk to someone about it, like another woman, or if you don't have another woman, really, you can confide in it. It could be a very lonely road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also a scary road
Hmm.
and also a awful road.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think that for some women, it would also to bring up perhaps shame that this is
Yeah.
happening, especially when they can't connect with all the levels of why it's happening and that it's a normal process, right? And that it is
Yeah. And
it is a return to you.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
There's so much to explore here. And I am, so honored that you are here to assist our audience because, like I say, there are so many women in society today, especially with the societal pressures of, the competition thing and competing to not just for jobs, but for men and for looking younger and, just all that. And it's just
All that stress.
all that stress. And, this is something that they can tune into to understand and, have more wisdom and knowledge brought to them by you because like even you mentioned, some women in their 30s are starting to go through this.
Mm.
And that's in your 30s. I'm sure it has a lot to do with the stress, right? That the world is closing in on, and, having children or maybe not, or working and wanting to become the CEO of a company, or, fill your bank account to be a millionaire. I mean, just all these pressures, and two, the way things have turned into where a lot of women don't want to have a man even assist them. Like, they want to do it all, right? And that in itself is such a huge pressure, just huge pressure to do it all, because we can't.
Yes. Yeah.
It's impossible. And like, the body is very intelligent, and that book, When the Body Says No, right? And so that can all that stress can exasperate and then start to bring this on earlier, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a woman who leaves herself in this time is really in danger, because she will probably lose her sexuality, and losing the sexuality is also losing self-confidence, and is also losing blissful moments, and it is losing the link to a partner or to men or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm. And to that creativity.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is really the lower chakra, right? Is all about. The yoni, it's creative. It's so beautiful and so blissfully powerful, I would say. We as women are so blessed to have that part of our body that is just amazing, and it's a journey into it and unto itself. So.
Yes, and we should honor ourselves, and 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 walk in beauty, yeah, and respect ourselves also, and instead of to jump on these stressful competitions all the time.
Mhm, mhm,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
but these patriarchal structures, so yeah, we live in the patriarchy still.
Mhm.
Uh, It seems like it is every year it is gaining.
Absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't seem t in so many ways, it doesn't seem to be that we're moving ahead. It's
Not really.
it's like we're almost
I
going backward.
I mean, we had other times, like in the 60s, in the 70s,
Mhm.
and there were another spirit, yeah, in the relationship of women and men, and this is it seems like it disappeared.
Yeah, it certainly does. For me personally, it's I see it with my granddaughter, the pressure. She's 10, and I see the pressure she's under by other girls at school, and even the boys, and it's so different. And of course it's different than when I went to school. That's 60 years ago. But yeah, it just and she's wise enough, through what she has experienced, and through her mother, and being exposed to her mom's wisdom as well. She she sometimes says to me, Nana, I would love to have grown up when you did, because your pressure was different. And those are her words. Your pressure was different.
Wow.
Yeah. So very wise, 10 years old, for observing and understanding. And it's so important to for me to be with her, to honor her as the phases she's going through too, and through my understanding and trainings in family constellation and systemic trauma, and Yoni, through to honor the different phases for her as well, so that her journey hopefully can be a little bit smoother. you know
And yes, it certainly is, because you are the grandmother.
yeah, yeah. And
And you will guide her also. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's been an absolute gift in my life to, to have my daughter and to have a granddaughter. I have two grandsons, but the granddaughter is, of course, it's different because she's female, right? So, and I never had a son, so I often say to my daughter, "Wow, you were meant to be a mother and you were meant to have two boys." so, so but it's a joy, and it's an education for me too, and it's always, I'm open to learning from her as well, because she's teaching me a lot. So wow. Well, Irmgard, it's, like I say, it's an honor, and I'm going to, look forward, and I know our audience is going to look forward to the next interview with you, which will be coming up, when we set it up. But it is a series. I want everyone to know it is a series, and it's going to be ongoing. So also too, I will definitely put Irmgard's information in the promotion, and you can reach out to her anytime through the areas of which I place up and send through the promotion. And please do reach out to her if you have any concerns about this or anything else with regards to being a beautiful goddess. So my love to you, my love to Karl-Heinz, and we will continue.
Yes, Colli,
Yes.
wonderful.
So thank you so much. I am so blessed and honored, and I love you dearly.
Thank you.
All right, my dear. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Same to you.
Bye for
Bye.
now.